Hello and welcome back to the Wrestling and an edition of AEW Dynamite Out of 10. It's a big show today because we've got the rematch of the Revolution main event, Jon Moxley against Cope. Mercedes Moné also put her TBS title on the line against Royal H Women's TV champion Billie Starkz. And we started things off with a fatal four-way number one contenders match between Ricochet, Orange Cassidy, Mike Bailey and Mark Davis. And after a competitive contest, Speedball caught Mark Davis for a roundhouse kick, then for a backside. Ricochet slipped in to cover Davies as well, causing a double pin decision. Afterwards, the ref announced that both men had won based on the result, leading to a triple threat match against Omega Dynasty. Everyone played their roles in this well. Orange Cassidy took out the brunt of the offense, while Davis was the powerhouse bruiser. Bailey relied on his speed and tricks. Ricochet trusted him in smarts. Both men benefited from their skill set to take victory. It was a wild contest that laid out so well to maximise the talent they had available, and this is the best possible option. Speedball advanced in his second AEW match, and Ricochet continues his villain arc. Omega will thrive with these two men involved, and he can pick up some early impressive title wins. So yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. This was great stuff. Before we moved on to the TBS title match between Mercedes Moné and a dangerous Billie Starkz, who pushed her to her limit, and after a near fall for the challenger, the CEO caught her with a statement maker for the submission win. The build to the match was a few awkward backstage segments, but the match itself was unsurprisingly quite good. It was one of the best women's matches on Dynamite in a while. The obvious chemistry between Moné and Starkz should be explored further, even if the real goal was to continue pushing the CEO and Athena closer together. For those who don't watch ROH, this is a great reintroduction to Starkz, who will be an integral part of the women's division down the line. Fans can now wait with bated breath for the ROH Women's World Champion to arrive to set up another dream match in AEW with Athena. That's just going to be incredible when we get to it. So yeah, on the whole, I thought this was great stuff, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Before we moved on to the World Championship street fight, surprisingly in the middle of the card, Mox and Cope, they brutalised each other until the Death Riders arrived. The Racing Star superstar Willie Utah was sent for a table, then FTR took out Claudio and Pac. Marina Shafir came out for the save, but Willow Nightingale took her down. Kip distracted Cope for Wayne's World for Nick Wayne, followed by a bulldog choke for a knockout by Moxley. Afterwards, Dax Harwood refused to help Cope up and walked out, leaving only Cash Wheeler and Willow to check on him. It was obvious from early on that this format should have gone at Revolution, even if it was not going to be compete with that card. This was far more interesting. The two men brawled and pulled out wild weapons to hurt each other. They kept a steady pace without ignoring the physical damage of the brawl. The back shot on the spike is one of the most brutal spots AEW's ever delivered, and it's not working for many. It's genuinely hard to watch the referee help remove it from Mox. The interference was over the top but appropriate, just missing Jay White, though he may not have been able to travel. FTR continuing to tease a heel turn, especially Harwood. It'll be more interesting to see him walk out on Cope over the Undisputed Kingdom on Collision. Overall, this was a successful enter story that will likely be forgotten about in the most part, but I thought for it to conclude like this, really put a high end on a probably average view. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. After an impressive showing from AR Fox in the next match v Will Ospreay ducked a 450 splash and hit the hidden blade for the victory. It's possible the original plan was for Ospreay to stay out of the ring for a while until selling the damage from the cage match. The aerial assassin certainly worked like he was still hurting, almost struggling to keep up with his opponent. It was a fun match for Ospreay, who's not had enough of those recently. With a focus on delivering for the big moments, it was nice to see him just flow against a competitor who looks to level up by working with him. It's still easy the weakest match of the night, speaking voids about the quality of the card, and yeah, just kind of felt a bit of an outlier on such a stacked card, so I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Before our main event was Chris Statlander taking on Megan Bayne, and after a war of powerhouses, Bayne threw Statlander into Tony Storm outside, then hit her with the Fates descent on the floor and the ring to get the win. After the result, Storm tapped her right fist and brawled with the Megasis, and when officials broke it up, the Timeless One grabbed the mic and challenged Bayne for Dynasty. It's rare to see the women's main event in AEW, especially with the World Championship match earlier. This could have been an apology for not letting the main event of Revolution. Statlander and Bayne certainly worked with the expectation of the spot. This was better than their first bout, which was already good on its own merit. In particular, these two flowed down with the stretch, hitting big strikes and throws back and forth to sell how close they are in terms of talent and will. The women deserve more opportunity like that, and it just shows that if they're given, they'll flourish with it. Given Bayne a more definitive victory over Statlander establishes that Megasis could be a threat to Storm at Dynasty. It's more likely that Storm will be the first to hand her a loss, but it would be massive if Bayne was to get a win. So yeah, lots of questions coming out of this, and I really thought this was excellent. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Overall, AEW Dynamite this week gets 7 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I thought this was great stuff, to be honest. Really enjoyed this show. Yeah, I mean, from start to finish, so many great matches throughout. It was a stacked show. We even got an upgrade on the last pay-per-view's main event and a rematch of that. Statlander v Bane was an upgrade. So yeah, running back some matches, but all in all, really, really good stuff.
Right, so that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.